really know what to do with this, so I'm just gonna tell you. Um, there was a little boy, and we met when we were just 9 years old, and we were at Bible school, in the summer. They last about 2 weeks, and they're in different churches. So we were in a Bible school together at Washington Chapel Church. And it was at the end of my third grade year. So I was probably 9 years old, going into the fourth grade. And I assumed he was 9 years old too. And we became great friends our whole lives long. And after we left Bible school, we ended up doing things like we were both people at Special Olympics, so we were like the judges when the people raced at Special Olympics, and that was really, really important to me at 12 years old. So it was really cool that he was there too. And we went through high school together, and we dated, and we went to the prom together. And he was really, really a good friend. And he would come over to my house, and I would wash his hair because my mom and dad said that was okay. And as we got older, he would tell me things. Like he told me that he was from the islands, and he was brought to this country and given to his mom to be adopted. And I learned different things along the way from him and from his mom. So what I put together was this, because he told me he was adopted from the islands. He said there was a rumor that his real father was a white man who was a sailor who would come to the island, periodically, but then he'd go away. Well, he told me later that his mother died in childbirth, and he was the 8th child. And I thought, okay, most women don't die when they're having their 8th child. By the time they have 8 of them, it's like walking in the park. So if you're going to die in childbirth, it's not with number 8. But I didn't say anything. So as time went on, I figured out she died in childbirth. He met his siblings, and he told me that he had 7 or something siblings, and they were all very, very dark. And he was not, but all of them were. And I said, well, they grew up on the island, and you didn't. And, he said, okay, but the reality, or the last thought was, if she messed around, his mom, if she messed around with a white sailor who came periodically, let's say she had 7 children, and they were all very, very dark, because their father was very, very dark. But let's say she messed with this white sailor and she got pregnant. Okay, so she gave birth to that baby on the island. And Her sisters were there because that's how you give birth on an island. But then the baby came out and he looked half white, like my friend does. And when the father that was with her in this delivery setting, the father was very, very, very dark. He saw this baby come out that looked like my friend, and he had a fit. Okay, so while he was having the fit, her sisters were there and saw the fit, and her sisters grabbed the baby and ran with him, taking him to the airport and getting on the first flight out of there and flying to the United States. As it turned out, the woman who gave birth to this baby did die. Maybe it wasn't childbirth. But it wasn't because the birth of the baby was really difficult. It's because that man who was really, really, really dark saw that baby come out, and if he killed her, she died in childbirth. So either way, my friend was taken to the airport and was flown by the sisters to the United States, where there were other sisters already, and they gave him to the other sisters, and in the family they raised him, and he grew up in Tuskegee, and he went to Bible school at Washington Chapel School Church for Bible school. And that's when I met him. And that was the beginning of a very long friendship. Okay, that's all I got. Tell me what you think. Goodbye.